Hello, everyone. Coming up on FTC Top 25, we have our final Top 25 for Into the Deep. We have 25 amazing teams comprised of your votes from the community. We'll count down the list, detail our personal snubs of the year, along with top 50 team shoutouts, give some insights into these teams, have a couple giveaways, and more. So let's get ready for the final FTC Top 25 for Into the Deep.
This video on fun is brought to you by our viewers, supporters, members, and also in partnership with the following. Studica Robotics is everything your team needs to build, learn, and compete. Check out their FTC starter kit, intake hub kit, and odometry wheel options at studica.com/robots. Teams in the USA can get up to 25% off and apply for grants at studica.com/robots. True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interest, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/first.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to FTC Top 25, where we reveal the top 25 teams you voted for. From Fun FTC, I'm Abbas, and joining me are Anthony, William, Rockel, and our producer behind the scenes, Tyler. We're excited to have you all tonight, and for so many of you to participate in voting for the FTC Top 25. We have giveaways from Spark Fun and Studica Robotics tonight, so stay tuned to hear how to enter and win those. We also want to give a shout out to FTC Scout, who we're utilizing some of the data from. We're also going to take a couple breaks to detail our snubs and give a few top 50 shout outs. So yeah, Tyler, have we already drawn for the giveaway that was at the end of Regal Night, or do we still need to do that? Okay, great. So with that, we're just going to get started with number 25. Starting off is Team 19104 Cyberpunk Robotics from Romania. They ended their official season 9th at the Romania Championship, which is insane because it puts them at 13th by OPR in the world. That's thanks to a 175-point tally-up OPR, which is 8th. And of course, they have a 5-sample autonomous, but what I think their teleop strength is how fast their sample pickups are from the submersible. I think I saw the flash of a camera in the middle of their claw, so I'm thinking it's heavily automated or completely automated. And in this match, they spend about the first minute picking up 10 red samples and then are able to score them just very quickly. One thing that also interested me with their robot was the hooks hanging out the back. I wasn't sure, if why they had them so far out or what was going on there, but they're able to do a very, very fast level 2 hang. I think they started at 5 seconds left in the match, so I'm really hoping we see them at an off-season event like Bucharest Twin Cup or anything like that. Yeah. Anthony, you want to go on to number 24?
Yeah, so at number 24, we have Team 16166 What's Up from Romania. Their season was unfortunately cut short when they did not qualify for Romanian Nationals. But that does not matter. They're still a very impressive team. With an OPR of 209.49, they're ranked 18th in the world. In the video here, we can see them running with 15972 Tetno Z. And we can see them with their extremely fast robot. Their quick extension paired with their lift that's just as fast, and their drivetrain that's just insane. That makes them able to cycle the samples extremely well. They're an extremely competitive team, and I cannot wait to see what they do next year. This team is competitive year in and year out. I remember competing with them last year, and I'm excited to see what comes from them. William, do you have any comments?
I think just the way that Romanian teams are just so competitive, and this high level team couldn't make Romanian Nationals is kind of just insane to think. So hopefully we can see more of them in off-season events, and I think we can move on to number 23. In the 23rd spot, we have 17713 Delta Force from Romania. They are ranked 19th on OPR with 209.05. Their auto OPR is 68th in the world and can consistently do a 5-spec auto. They have a fast claw-based robot that can put on specimens at a fast rate. The robot is lightweight, which means they can do a fast level 3 ascent on top of the fast specimen deliveries. At the Romanian Nationals, they placed a very respectable 15th from the qualification matches. I hope we can see more of this team at MTI or another off-season event in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you were just talking about the strength of Romanian teams and how, even these teams are in the Worlds. Delta Force, no exception. We've seen them do very, very well at MTI before, so I'm hoping we can see them again this season. But yeah, just super, super fast robot. Rahul, want to go on to 22?
At number 22, we've got Team 3189 Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly from Wyoming. They were featured on Reveal Night earlier today, and their robot is really Robonauts-esque with those really bright and vibrant colors. They were ranked 25 last month and have not competed, but had performed extremely well at the Wyoming Championship, leaving with an OPR of 206.25, 22nd ranked in the world. The robot is very versatile, being able to perform both samples and specimens at a high level with a 6-specimen autonomous, which is going to be really strong and helpful at the World Championship. Their long multi-use deposit arm reduces the height they need to deposit samples, as well as scoring specimens with ease. I think they're going to be a very strong team at the Jemison division with their multi-use robot, and they're going to be a very high-level team to watch going forward.
Yeah, I think, Anthony, this is a team you should be very familiar with. You could have a bunch of matches with them, against them, anything you want to add?
Yeah, so I started scouting them because I've been looking at some of the teams, and this one was no exception of the ones that I saw with seeing them on top 25s before and just seeing their robot reveal. They're going to be one that is, I think, going to be definitely towards the top of the division.
For sure. All right. In 21st, we have last year's world champions, Team 19066 AI Citizens from Romania. They have had another insanely fast robot this season, but unfortunately will not be returning to Houston. They ended the season in the later stages of playoffs at Romania and put up some very high scores with a top 30 OPR. And they consistently had a 6-sample autonomous thanks to their super fast horizontal slides and drivetrain in general. I think being that fast and in autonomous just gives you those few extra seconds you need. And in teleop, I think they do a really good job of cycling and scoring specimens at the same time on cycles where it makes sense. I think that's one of AI Citizens' greatest strengths. They have a lot of game sense when it comes to driving, and they know what they're doing on the field, and it really shows in their matches. I hope we see them at some off-season events because they're always a powerhouse team. William, anything that stuck out to you about them?
I think just the consistency that AI Citizens brings, because they're used to high level play, and being able to really deal with that kind of pressure is a really good thing to have, especially in high level play. It's going to be I hope to see them at off season events, but just the consistent robot, which is what you really need at high level play.
For sure. Anthony, let's start our top 20.
All right, at number 20, we have Team 9881 Golden Gears from La Canada, California. Golden Gears is a team we're very familiar with, as they've been on this list before. They're super quick and fast and agile with their wooden drivetrain, and they're super quick, as you can see right here with that lift. Unfortunately, their season ended at the SoCal Championship, where they were the finalist alliance pick. This team is one that we will see lots of as time goes on, and I hope to see more from them this year. Their quick scoring is one that made them stand out, and their active intake is super viable. Like we can see here in this video, they're practicing some defense, and they're just seeming to get right around it with how fast their robot is. So I can't wait to see what we see from them in the future.
Yeah, Rahul, I guess you must have seen a bunch of them throughout your competitions. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I interviewed them a few months ago, and I think they're just one of the fastest sample cycling teams in the world. Their MTI submission video, I believe they had 32 total samples, including auto, with some in the low bucket as well. And I think they're just really good at samples, and hopefully we'll see them at any future off-season events.
Oh my gosh, yeah, 32 samples is absolutely nuts. Can't wait to see if they get into MTI. William, let's hear number 19.
Coming in at the 19th spot is 2265 Hearts of Robot from Romania. They are ranked 16th in the world with an OPR of 216.19. Coming out of the competitive Romanian Nationals, this team will be experienced to big gameplay leading into the World Championships. Their side delivery into the human player zone gives them speed to drop off and pick up specimens. They have good reach into the submersible and can drive specimens onto the chamber at high speed. Their extender extends into the bar to reduce cycle times for quicker specimen deliveries. Look out for them in the Yokoa division at the World Championships. I'm sure this team is going to make playoffs and can't wait to see the improvements they bring to Houston.
Yeah, Anthony, what are your thoughts on Hearts of Robots? I know you're always a fan of the Romanian team, so I want to give you the first stab at this.
Yeah, so Heart of Robot has been a team that we've been working with throughout the season, just trying to exchange ideas, work together to bring our different cultures together and whatnot. They're bringing some big upgrades from Romanian Nationals to Worlds. I am not in a place to say what they are or what their numbers are that they're putting up, but just know but just know that they're going to be a very competitive team. They're putting up a pretty high number of specimen towards the max every time, getting that climb. They're going to be a very good team that people are going to have to watch out for.
Cool. Yeah. Rahul, let's hear number 18.
Next up, at 18, we've got Team 18270 Robo Players from Texas. They were ranked at 17 in the March Top 25 and are just currently one of the best teams in the Jemison division at the World Championship with a 12th ranked OPR of 219.11. Their intake is truly versatile and embodies the principle of touch it, own it, allowing them to rapidly intake samples to reduce their cycle times. Their deposit system has an extendable component to score specimens and counter-sprung linear slides, allowing them to have that really fast lift. They've also recently added a speedy level 3 ascent, which will certainly help them when those buckets and chambers get full and the submersible gets pretty empty at high levels of play at the World Championship. I believe that for sure they're going to be in the elimination matches at Houston, and they're going to have a good shot at being at the winning alliance for the Jemison Division too. I can't wait to see how they perform coming up very soon.
Yeah, I interviewed Robo Players a few weeks, about a month ago. I was so excited to get that interview, and they just really knocked it out of the park. It was really surprising to me when they said that they're at like the actuator limit with 8 motors and 12 servos. So, but it is nice to see that they are able to do that level 3 hang now. I think it just really levels them up. William, who do you see them alliancing with in the Jemison division?
I'm not too sure at the moment. My main focus is currently who's in the Edison division.
Yeah,
But,
I guess Anthony. Yeah, Anthony, much more of a fair question for you. Who do you see them alliancing with?
I could so see them alliancing with. We could see them with Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly. You could see them with I Forgot. You could see them with some of these really solid specimen teams that are in the Jemison division. So it's just all going to come down to how qualifications go.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Going on to number 17, we have Team 20077, the Indubitables from Omaha, Nebraska, going into Houston with a 35-1 record and 7th by auto OPR. They're looking to be a powerhouse again in the Jemison division. They're going into the Jemison division with a nearly fully carbon fiber robot that is extremely good at specimens. I think their specimen strength is going to pair really well with teams like Robo Players, as we just talked about, and TextBand, I Forgot, just all of these absolute killer teams in the Jemison division. One thing that I think Indubitables does really well is use their intake to deposit the samples to the human player. I've talked about it all season. I think this just gives you a little bit of an edge, optimizes your cycle times just a little bit more. And when you're at Worlds and you need to put up the highest scores you can, that's really what you need to do. I'm hoping to see a level 3 hang from them. I think it'll just really round them out, not leave any point of weakness. But yeah, can't wait to see. Again, Anthony, I'm gonna choose you because you'll be playing with and against them. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm hoping we play with them. I'm hoping we don't play against them, just because they're going to be a very solid bot. But no, I'm really excited to see them and be able to play with them and be in the same division as them because they've been a really solid team and I've been seeing their development all throughout the year. And so I'm going to be really excited to see it in person and whatnot and see that whole robot in person.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about number 16.
All right, at 16, we have Team 14259 Turbo V8 from Pleasanton, California. With an OPR of 199.5, they're ranked 35 in the world. Winning NorCal as the pick is not an easy accomplishment. Winning one of the most competitive divisions, they're truly a team to watch out for. Their primary focus is samples, and they're super quick with it. We see them running a 5-specimen auton here, but in the end, they end up doing samples and cycling those extremely quickly. Their active intake is one that is perfect, and as it is super precise and quick, and enables for the extremely fast grabbing that just they can immediately grab it and go. I can't wait to see what they do in the Ochoa division, being able to fill up the basket for sure, and pairing them with another one of the amazing specimen bots that fill the Ochoa division.
Yeah, Rahul, what do you think?
Yeah, I think as you touched on, their intake is just amazing how fast it is. And in the Ochoa division, there's so many good specimen teams. Upper Creek, S30, there's just Hawk. There's so many teams that they could be a partner with. And all of those teams, I think, have potential to be the winning alliance. And they're just going to be really interesting to watch in Worlds.
Yeah, I think one thing that comes to my mind with Turbo V8, and especially given the game change with the 5 extra samples for each alliance, is how many samples do we think teams are going to be putting in the low basket? I know we talked about Golden Gears putting in a couple, and then also one of our teams later we'll talk about tonight, but that's not really something we see in matches. Do you guys see that being a big part of matches at Worlds? Like, how fast do you think that high basket is going to fill up, and then how many samples do you see in the low basket? William, what do you think?
I think a lot. I think the increase of the different colored samples allows for autos to also pick up different, not just yellow ones. So yeah, that's especially our team is thinking about that one. But I think if you can get a lot more samples from auto into it, I think the low basket will become more useful. So I reckon probably around 3 to 4 samples will probably go into the low basket, and potentially the specimen bot, if they manage to get the 20 onto the high chamber, will probably be focusing on the low basket, because the high basket will probably be full.
Yeah, I guess the question is, do you focus on the high basket, or do you focus on the low basket, or do you go and play defense once you've done those 20 specimens? So I'm interested to see what teams do. I'm not quite sure yet. I have some ideas, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. I think we're going to say thank you to one of our great sponsors, start a giveaway. Tyler, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Abbas. Hey, if you are going to the World Championship, make sure you check out Kettering University's booth in Scholarship Row, and check out everything that Kettering has to offer and see if it's a great fit for you. One of the great things about Kettering University is going to be their incredible co-op program, where every single student that goes to Kettering University gets a co-op. And this isn't an internship. This is a fully immersive program where you get to make real cash with some of the best companies in the world as well, too. So check out kettering.edu/first, see some of their scholarship opportunities. And once again, if you were at the championships, go say hi to them as well, too. Tell them that Fun sent you, and see if Kettering University is a great fit for you. We are going to start our first giveaway of the evening for the FTC Top 25, and that is another one of these incredible optical tracking odometry sensors from our friends at Spark Fun. So just type in Spark Fun. Right now, that's your opportunity to win. And don't forget, since we're on Twitch, you just need to be following our channel for that instead. So please make sure you are following the Twitch channel in order to be eligible, and we'll send it back to the team to keep counting down our list and go into our snubs.
Time for our snubs of the year. These are teams that did not make the FTC Top 25 and even landed outside the top 50 that each of us wants to recognize and give reasons why these teams should at least be in the top 50. Anthony, kick us off.
All right, so my snub is Team 19836 Hawk from Richmond Hill, Ontario, Canada. They have an OPR of 168.5, making them ranked 136th in the world. The reason they were my snub was for their video they posted in the Robot Showcase last week. Hawk is attempting the clip bot and clipping specimens on their robot, a feat that have only been done by a couple of the robots that I've seen, and we also saw their capabilities to do that in the reveal night earlier on. With them being the Joel division, the same division as the most successful clip bot we've seen this year, 11260 Upper Creek Robotics, I'm going to be curious to see how they clip and hang with the competition.
Yeah, Rahul, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that 8 specimen autonomous and just being able to see that clipping mechanism is really cool. And then also adding that level 3 ascent on top of that, in Ochoa, they're going to be one of the strongest teams for sure.
For sure. All right, William, who is your snub?
My snub of the month is Team 15534 Vertex from New Hampshire. They are ranked 43rd in the world with an OPR of 195.23. This team has had a good winning run throughout the season, so I'm keen to see how they go in the Edison division at the World Championships. Vertex is able to score super fast at both samples and specimens with their claw intake. It'll be interesting to see what further improvements they'll make before Houston. Vertex will definitely be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Vertex, they had a super, super good run 2 years ago. I think they were on the same alliance as Upper Creek, always just a very, very strong team. And I think that active intake is going to be huge. And clearly that claw intake is very strong for specimens. So, yeah, I think just all around great team. Rahul, who is your snub?
My snub for this month, who placed outside the top 50, is Team 19862 Mecha Mantises from NorCal, who was also featured on Reveal Night earlier today. They're the winning alliance at the NorCal Championships, one of the most competitive regions in the world, and ended with an OPR of 189.17. Their robot is truly unique, with one of the few turreted bots in the world making full use of the 20 inches side-to-side extension limit. The turreted robot allows them to perform extremely well at both specimens and samples in auto or teleop, which is why I believe they'd be an amazing pick for alliances in the Edison division. I can't wait to see how well they're going to do at Houston.
Yeah, Anthony, anything you want to add about Mecha Mantises?
Yeah, like you said, they're an amazing turret bot. The only other good turret bot that I've seen this year has been a 255538 Aura from Romania, I believe is their number. And they've been on the top 25 list as well. But they're, like you said, they're making full use of the whole 20 inches, and they're going to be really cool to see at Worlds and see how they stack up against the competition.
Absolutely. All right, my snub of the year is Team 7244 out of the box from Pennsylvania. Not only have they not been in the top 25 or top 50 this month, but they have at least not been in the top 25 any month this entire season. They were the Winning Alliance first pick with Silver Wolves at the Pennsylvania State Championship, and they're just an absolute sample powerhouse. Knowing their programming strength, I'm hoping to see 2 to 3 more cycles coming into Houston. And in my opinion, their biggest advantage is how well they drive and understand the game itself. Watching back the final match, if we go to like the final 20 seconds in this match, we'll see them picking up samples from the far side of the submersible zone and then dragging them to the close side so that their partner can pick them up more easily and score them faster. That's just something you haven't seen any other team do this season. It's absolutely insane. And I think if they can do this consistently at Worlds, they're like pretty much an instant pick for the top specimen teams. William, what do you think?
I reckon this team it will probably be, you know how we were talking about before, how the low basket or defense at the very end? I reckon this is going to be one of the teams that will have to really think about either going for the low basket or trying to go for that defense. So yeah, definitely a really great sample robot. Can't wait to see how they perform.
Yeah, and they'll be in the Jemison division. They have a ton of great teams to go. Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah, so they're going to be an amazing robot. We're going to see a lot of them. I think they're going to be extremely competitive, and they're also going to be towards the top, especially with the OPR that they're going to be getting coming out of auto if they can get those more samples in. And they're definitely going to be a very good robot to play with, and not going to be the best one to play against, but they're going to be a lot of fun to see. It's been a few years since we played with since Project Peacock has played with out of the box, and so it's going to be fun to play with them again.
For sure. All right, William, let's start our top 15.
In our 15th spot from Romania, we have TechnoZ. They were the Winning Alliance partner at the Romanian Nationals, which is arguably the most competitive region and is currently ranked 20th in the world. They have an OPR of 209 and currently holds the world record with Alphatronic with a whopping 531 points. Their claw intake and specimen delivery is capable of delivering the entire 20 specimens in the match. The robot is fast, and the drivers have spent some serious time practicing. This team will be competing at the World Championship in the Edison division. I reckon TechnoZ has a real shot at winning the Edison division. I can't wait to see the upgrades they bring from Romania.
Yeah, I mean, Rahul, what do you even change about this robot, right?
Yeah, I think I saw something in that they posted. An 8 specimen autonomous is their safe autonomous, which is great to think about for a non-clip bot. And I think for 15 for them is honestly very underrated. I think they might be the best specimen if you don't consider clip bots in the world, just how much they're able to get that 20 specimen auto. And I just can't wait to see how they're going to do at Worlds. And they're in the same division as Alphatronic, their partner at the Romanian Nationals, which is definitely going to be interesting to see if that happens again.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Last year, I distinctly remember 4 divisions, 1 Romania team in each division. But this year, it doesn't seem like there's anything like that happening. Maybe it was just luck or coincidence last year. But yeah, kind of insane putting the Romania Winning Alliance in the same division. Obviously, there's a bunch of other great teams. You have Robo Kings is just one, Robo Troopers. I forgot, just ton of awesome teams there. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what TechnoZ does. Yeah, Rahul, let's go on to number 14.
At number 14, we've got none other than 16460 Gearheads from Wisconsin. They've been on this list consistently month after month and are coming off a winning alliance captain win at the Wisconsin Championship with a 217.85 OPR. Their bot is one of the most mechanically complex in the world, with differential string slides for a claw turret, a differential claw, and a PTO for a level 3 ascent, and just so much more. They have one of the highest scoring autos in the world for both specimens and samples, with an 8 sample and even a 7 specimen autonomous. What strikes me is how fast and rigid their custom linear rail based extension is on their pivot mechanism, and it's clear how much time they've spent into mechanical reliability. At Houston, they'll be competing in the Jemison division, and I think they're one of the most likely teams to be one of the higher alliance captains or first pick for a high rank alliance because of their ability to do samples or specimens at a high level. They're truly an amazing robot, and I can't wait to see their performance at Worlds.
Yeah, a couple things about Gearheads, and then Anthony, definitely want to get your thoughts. I'm really glad we got to do the behind the bot with them early this season because they had so much great stuff then, and it's just like even more now. And I think they have a really neat move where they can throw the sample to the side and then pick up the specimen very quickly after. I think that's going to be super, super useful at Worlds, and especially like with those new strategies that we're seeing from Silver Wolves and Alphatronic and all these, and Techno Z and all these really strong specimen teams of cycling while you're scoring. Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah, so like you just talked about where they grab the sample and throw it, we can see it right there where they do that. That is really creative, and I love it. There's a lot of Jemison teams on this as we're going through it that I'm realizing, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot. Jemison is going to be a lot of fun to play in, and it's going to be a lot of fun to experience and see some of these teams that we've been looking at all season. And so their Garrett's is definitely going to be an extremely competitive team. I'm going to be curious to see how they stack up against. I forgot what their team number was, and I forgot and some of the other specimen teams, Indubitables. So I'm going to be curious to see how they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, I also recently noticed that we have a ton of Jemison teams in here, but yeah, no worries. Okay, going on to number 13, we have team 14872 Orbit Knights from Israel. They came out of Israel as the winning alliance, as a part of the winning alliance with a high score of 395 points. I think they've really gotten this box tube extension figured out this season. It's super, super solid, and I really like watching it go. Another thing is I think their intake is very simple, but very effective. When you have that pivoting box tube, you need a super light intake on the end, and most teams would go for a claw, but I think they did a really, really good job with that active intake, and we'll see those teleop cycles come up in just a second. They also have, a very difficult division, lots of difficult matches, just like everyone else here. So I think they'll definitely hold their own. They're currently ranked 23rd by non-penalty OPR, and in the Franklin division, tons of powerhouse teams. William, anything you want to add?
I reckon my favorite robot this year has actually been Orbit Knights. Just the simple box tubing that goes outwards, which is able to bring it upwards, I think has just been one of the most consistently awesome robots that I've seen. The way that they've done the active intake that can do both the specimens off the wall and with that degree of freedom is just super cool. And then being able to use that same subsystem for the samples in the submersible is really good. So I think they're definitely a team to watch out for.
Yeah, obviously the question is, how is that hang going to look? If they have a level 3 hang, that's just, that's completely killer as far as other teams are concerned. But yeah. All right, Anthony, let's go on to number 12.
At number 12, we have team 19743, Definitely Human from La Jolla, California. With an OPR of 224.25, them and their aircraft carrier-inspired robot are 7th in the world. They were the winning alliance captain at the California San Diego competition and won against 11212, the Clueless. Their 5-specimen Auton is paired with their claw on a linear rail, similar as we saw to Textband earlier on this season, so that they can grab from wherever they please easily. They score an average of 10 specimen in teleop, and they pair that with a level 3 climb. They will be an extremely competitive team, and I cannot wait to see where they sail in the Edison division.
Yeah, Rahul, I think you're the best person to talk here. Take it away.
Yeah, so I competed against them in elims, and I think the biggest part that strikes me is just how consistent their autonomous is. I believe in all of their qualification matches, they hit that 6 specimen autonomous, and I think that consistency in their autos is going to be really good for their tiebreaker points at Worlds, as well as in elims, just making sure they don't have an off match, and they're going to be a really strong specimen team at Worlds.
Yeah, and about that 6 specimen auto, that's what their OPR is showing, right? 63 points is six
Yeah.
specimen in a park every time, so that's really cool. But yeah, can't wait to see how they do. William, talk about number 11.
Moving on to the 11th spot on this list is 21-311 Lion Robotics Gold. They are ranked 10th in the world on OPR with 220.34. This former world record holder has so far had a great season. They were both Inspire and Winning Alliance captain at the Iowa Championship. They have a very fast specimen auto combined with a very fast sample delivery with their servo-driven active intake. This lightweight robot is fast across the field, and the small chassis provides good reach into the submersible. Look out for this team at the World Championships in the Ochoa division.
Yeah, Lion Robotics, their robot is, I think, deceptively simple. It is just crazy the scores they're putting up. I remember they were easily one of the top sample auto teams earlier this season. I'm definitely expecting them to be, 9 samples, 10 samples again coming into Worlds. Yeah, Anthony, anything you want to talk about with them?
Yeah, so in the division, in the Ochoa division, they're definitely going to be an extremely solid robot that's going to be able to pair with the many specimen robots that are in this division. I'm going to be curious to see what a match with them and Upper Creek or Hawk or Heart of Robot is going to look like, because they're going to be really good to play with and they're going to be really fast. And I expect them to empty the submersible with just how fast they are.
Well, okay, so that's a good point. Do you think we'll see an empty submersible match, especially given these new samples that have been added? Rahul, what do you think?
I think it's going to be quite hard with these new submersibles because they didn't add more clips, so the extra ones, if that 20 specimens are full, are going to have to go in that low bucket. But I think if the specimen robot can also do samples at a decent level, then that could leave the potential for a full empty submersible if that's the case.
Okay, so I guess William, yes or no? Are we going to have an empty submersible match? And maybe we can get a poll in the chat as well.
I'm going to say yes. I think
Okay.
I reckon every single sample is going to be gone, because the only thing that may affect it is sometimes the placement of just due to the randomization of the submersible. Some of the samples may be closer to the corner, which may be difficult for some intakes to get into. But I reckon, yes, there'll be an empty submersible.
All right, very exciting. Yeah, we don't have to wait long to see. So let's see how it goes. Okay, Rahul, let's talk about number 10.
Taking off our top 10, we've got Team 14903 Sharkbots from New York. They ranked in the top 10 last month and continue that with a very high ranking now. They won their last event as the winning alliance captain and finished with an OPR of 226.65. They're featured on a behind the box go and have an extremely fast tellyap. Their claw-to-claw transfer is very consistent, and they have clearly had a very high amount of driver practice to get their tellyap at the level they're at. They also have a 5-specimen autonomous that they ran at their regional championships and are shaping to be a very strong team in the Franklin division at the World Championship. Their ability to do both specimens and samples at a very high level is going to make them one of the most versatile teams at Houston and likely to be a captain or a very high pick in one of the playoff alliances. And I can't wait to see how they're going to do just coming up very soon.
Yeah, I had a great time interviewing Sharkbots. Great team, very nice, and obviously just a very, very fast and optimized robot. I think one thing that I've been kind of thinking about going into Worlds is, where do we see like these robots that are more versatile rather than specialized ranking? In Romania, we saw these like kind of more versatile robots ranking very highly, like Silas, for example. They were just super, super awesome in all their matches. But when it came to playoffs, the specialized robots just really took it home. Anthony, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I think it depends on how good you are at whatever you're specializing. Because if you're decent at both versus maybe specialized in one, you may not be as good as maybe somebody who is specialized in one or the other. So, I mean, if you can be at the level that some of these specialized robots are at, playing both of them, you're definitely going to be top ranked. But I mean, if you're somewhat good at both of them, you may be a little bit lower ranked. So it's all just going to come down, and we'll see how OPRs and match win-loss. We're just going to have to see how it comes up and whatnot.
Yeah,
I
I'd be
reckon-
really excited. Go ahead, William.
I reckon the thing that's going to impact the specialized robots is they're not going to probably rank as highly just because of the luck of the draw. So, like, if you're specialized with a specimen bot and you get alliance with another specimen bot, I think it'll be more difficult to win matches with that. But if the more versatile robots will probably do better in the qualification matches because they can kind of work with alliance partners. But when it comes to the finals, the luck of the draw will probably come into play a lot more, and I reckon we'll probably see that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd be really excited to see shark bots with like Theseus, or Quality Control, Wolfpack, Eastern Foxes, just so many strong teams to choose from in their division. All right. In ninth is a team that needs very little introduction. Team 11260 Upper Creek is coming into Houston as one of the clear favorites to take it all home. They're currently undefeated this season over their 3 competitions, and I personally really hope we see them stay that way through Houston. They have easily one of, if not the strongest hardware and software teams just all around. And as I said before, it's an engineering masterpiece. I think everyone has seen this video. Last I checked, I think it's like 17,000 views, which is just nuts to me. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. I think it's definitely great footage to have up for everyone to see though. What I want to talk about is alliance possibilities. In my opinion, them and Turbo V8 would be just insane. There's like at least 2 or 3 other options. I saw Gear Wizards, Line Robotics Gold. Obviously, there's another Clipbot in that division. Rahul, who do you see them going with?
Yeah, I think in my opinion, the 2 best sample teams in Ochoa would be between Line Robotics Gold and Turbo V8. I think also Matrix from India is quite good at samples, and I think one of those alliances and also having a good third pick or second pick would round out that alliance and potentially be the favorites to win it all.
Yeah, and Anthony, my question for you is this like whole auto compatibility thing they have going on. Do you think we're going to see teams that are able to like really lean into that and work super, super well with them? Or is it just going to be something that's like handy for them throughout quals, but isn't really going to like be game changing in elims? What do you think?
So I think we've seen some teams start to try and play to where they don't have to wait. They can have this auto compatibility in mind, like TextPan's 10 sample, where they were grabbing. They grabbed outside of the zone that Upper Creek grabs from. I noticed, but I think it's going to be really helpful because especially you may not be able to change it on the fly and things like that. And so they're going to be able to just change it and go with it and make it easy and still get all the samples in that zone guaranteed.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see what Upper Creek does. All right, let's talk about number 8, Anthony.
All right, at number 8, we have team 19098 Eastern Foxes from Romania. The finalist alliance captain coming out of Romania, this team is roaring and ready to go. They have an OPR of 220.46, making them ranked 9th in the world. In the hardest division in the world to qualify from, they were putting up scores in the 450 range and lost. This team is absolutely crazy. With their combined 3 motors for the lift and pivot, it is incredibly quick to score samples. In their bot reveal, it is said their lateral extension is 0.4 seconds and their vertical is 0.7 seconds. That's quick. And I cannot wait to see how they pile up those samples in the basket and how they rank in the Edison division.
Yeah, we've had a lot of Romanian teams tonight. We've talked about Eastern Foxes just time after time this season. So I'm really excited to see them at Worlds. William, you want to go into number 7?
For number 7 on this list, from Romania again, is the winning alliance captain 24033 Alphatronic. They are currently ranked 11th in the world with an OPR of 219.93. Alphatronic has the current world record with TechnoZ. They are one of the fastest sample bots around and can typically score 7 samples from auto. They cycle fast throughout the game and employ some good strategic gameplay that sees them score 19 plus samples. They finish their matches with a fast L3 climb. Alphatronic will be competing at the World Championships in the Edison division and will be a force. I can't wait to see how they go and will be curious to see if they alliance with their partner from Romania, TechnoZ.
Yeah, that was a huge discussion topic. I think we had when we were talking about TechnoZ, and then also we all loved the reveal. Rahul, anything you want to add about Alphatronic?
Yeah, I think they have the number one auto OPR in the world. And I think just being able to hit that auto every match is just pretty much a guarantee that they're going to be ranked high after the qualification matches because the tiebreaker is your auto scoring. It's just truly amazing how consistent their autonomous with that active intake is for samples.
For sure. All right. Let's hear about number 7, Rahul. Or number 6, sorry.
Yeah. Just before our top 5, we've got team 19043 Silas from Romania with 3 straight Romanian teams. Silas has been one of the strongest teams year in and year out from Romania and has placed in the top 10 consistently in top 25s and currently hold an OPR of 223.11. At the Romanian Championship, they finished as the finalist aligned first pick and unfortunately did not qualify for Worlds, but did qualify for the European Premier event. The robot has an amazing active intake that is super fast deposit slides, then even a mini as their deposit to deposit those specimens from the front of their robot. They have a 7 specimen autonomous that they featured on their MTI submission solo score of 319 points, one of the highest in the world. They also have a very extremely fast teleop and a very quick level 3 ascent. I can't wait to see them compete at European Premier events or the Maryland Tech Invitational and other off-season events such as BTC.
Yeah, Anthony, anything you want to talk about with Silas?
Yeah, so with them being on the alliance with Eastern Foxes and putting up those scores, still losing, it's crazy. And it's crazy just to see how competitive these teams are. And it's going to be crazy to see how they stack up in the competitions. And it's going to be crazy to see how they do in off-season competitions, because I think I remember seeing them on the European Premier event. So it'll be curious to see how they do in that competition.
Yeah, and I mean, they won MTI last year. I'm really hoping they come back this year and try to do it all again. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. With that, let's draw for our Spark Fun giveaway, Tyler, and then we'll continue on.
Thanks, Abbas. Yep. Once again, Spark Fun was the keyword. If you do win, please go to funroboticsnetwork.com and click the giveaway winner link. That is going to be Dancing Queen Gaming. Congratulations to you. You're taking this home. Please go to funroboticsnetwork.com and click on that giveaway link. We will start another giveaway in just a moment. We also do want to thank our friends at Studica Robotics for their continued support of fun. As you're entering the off-season teams, make sure if you need to stock up and get some great deals, head on over to studica.com/robots. And don't forget that if you are in the U.S., you can get 25% off your orders as well, too, and also free samples. If you're going to be at the World Championships, Studica Robotics will have a booth both in FRC and FTC, so make sure you stop in to see some of the cool products they're looking at unveiling, especially the new colors you're doing with their structure kits as well, too. A lot of great stuff at Studica Robotics. So go to studica.com/robots and see some of their new stuff coming out. As mentioned, we'll be starting a giveaway as well, too, from Studica Robotics. This is for 4 pieces of their slide rail. This is made of lightweight aluminum. It's a 24 millimeter wide and perfect for building a multi-stage slide system. Ideal for linear motion, the closed length is 384 millimeters with a 240 millimeter stroke. So if you're interested in winning this, type in slide right now in chat. Don't forget, if you're watching, this is Twitch instead of YouTube as usual. So just make sure you are following the Twitch channel in order to be eligible to win. And we're going to send it back to our team to talk about our top 50 shoutouts.
5 teams for tonight. Let's bring up teams which just missed out on the top 25 with our 26 through 50 rankings. Each of us have picked one of these teams to give a shout out to as an honorable mention. Anthony, go ahead.
All right. So my top 50 shout out is team 21229 Quality Control. They're a team that is familiar to this list, and they have an OPR of 168.67. The reason I selected them as my top 50 is because they too are attempting the clipping mechanism on the robot. They seem to have it down in this video that we saw, but it was only a very short clip. So I'm not entirely know for sure. And I cannot wait to see them at Worlds and see how they do.
Great. William, who is your top 50 shout out?
My top 50 shoutout is 17861 CHS from Romania. With an OPR of 195.10, this puts them at 44th in the world for OPR. This team can do an impressive 9-sample auto, which is bonkers. CHS is a former world record holder and will be in the Franklin division at the World Championships. A team to watch out for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. Rahul, anything you want to add with CHS?
Yeah, I think they're one of those Romanian teams with that really high autonomous, and I just can't wait to see what they're going to do at Worlds there. in the Franklin division, I believe, and they could be paired with some of those really high specimen teams to form a really strong alliance in the Franklin division.
For sure. And who is your top 50 shout out?
My top 50 shoutout is Team 12808 Revamped Robotics from Oregon. They were on the winning alliance with Team Proxima Nova at the Oregon Championship and held a 181.38 OPR. Their new robot for the World Championship has a ton of mechanical complexity and sophistication, with a turret on their outtake as well as a linear slide forward extension. Their lightning fast speed of their vertical extension, despite these complex mechanisms, truly allows them to have some of the fastest sample cycles in the world, and the speed and consistency of their intake is truly impressive. In this video, in a 2-minute clip with no samples from Auto, they're already going to the low bucket, which is truly impressive considering what we're going to see at Worlds. I can't wait to see how they're going to perform at Houston in the Edison division.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've gone a little under the radar. I mean, obviously they've always been strong coming out of Oregon, and then they also have Proxima Nova with them, as you said. But I think they could definitely be super super strong. Seeing them with someone like definitely Human, Techno Z, et cetera, et cetera. I know there were some gasps and surprise in the chat that TechSpin wasn't in the top 25. This is why they are my top 50 shout out. TechSpin has been absolutely awesome this season. They, of course, won South Africa national championships. They were the winning alliance captain, as well as Inspire Award winner, as we expect. And just absolutely insane. They have that 10 sample autonomous that they've been showing coming into Worlds, which is nuts. I can't wait to see how many times they hit it. What I am more interested in is what is their average autonomous score going to be, right? Is it going to be like a 8.5 to 9 average, or is it like either they get 10 or they only get like the base 4? So I think that's going to be really, really important. And if they can keep that like very high 8 to 9 sample average, it's just going to be absolutely game changing for their rankings. Yeah. Anthony, what do you think about TechSpend?
Yeah, TechSpend being in the Jemison division, they're definitely going to be a extremely competitive team to play against. They're going to be a lot of fun to play against for sure. Going to be able to learn a lot from them and how they do some of their mechanical and how to do some of their software sides of things. So it's going to be a lot of fun to be in the division with them and play with them.
Yeah. All right. With that, I think we can begin our top 5. So the number 5 team for our final Into the Deep top 25 is going to be team 14270 Quantum Robotics from Romania. They are ending the season with the top teleop OPR in the world. They unfortunately won't be at Worlds, but I think they've done an excellent job of proving the pivoting slides concept. They're just extremely fast and low. I'm really hoping to see them at the Bucharest Twin Cup. And honestly, they remind me a lot of like Orbit from last season, like very, very compact, but very, very fast. Yeah, William, I'm not sure. Do you see similar parallels? What do you think about Quantum Robotics?
I think it's a very effective design just to be able to score those samples. I think I really want to see them at a off-season event, which would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Rahul, what do you think? I know you guys also went for that box tube slide design. So what are your thoughts on Quantums?
Yeah, I think their drivers are honestly one of the most impressive. Being able to score that many samples and specimens with a claw-based intake is really impressive with that box tube, and you can see they're doubling their box tube for both samples and specimens, making it very versatile, and have really shown with their OPR how effective a pivot-based architecture can be.
For sure. All right, Anthony, who's our number 14?
At number 4, we have Team 18030 Viperbots Leviathan from Austin, Texas. With an OPR of 228.83, they're ranked 5th in the world. Their bot is super quick, scoring a 5+1 auton with park, as we can see here. Their small and quick active intake that is precise paired with their almost instantaneous extension makes them able to slither around the submersible and grab samples. Their quick lift and fast drive chains allows for the 17 samples they scored in teleop, as we see in this match. Pairing it with the level 3 hang to top it all off, they're truly going to be a bot to watch out for at the World Championship.
Yeah, I know, William, you said you're very focused on the teams in the Edison division. Do you want to talk about them?
I think this team's going to be just, as we've mentioned a lot before, is I reckon what's going to happen is they're going to be able to fill up the high basket and then try and either focus on low or defense. So it'll be just a very interesting to see how this team goes at the champion at Worlds. So yeah, it's looking super fast, especially that fast slides and fast transfer system. So looking awesome.
Totally. All right. Who is our number 3, William?
In our third place is 17962 Rotu-D2 from Romania. Rotu-D2 needs no introduction. Ranked third in the world with an OPR of 230.56, they have an incredibly fast active intake, which can intake samples from any angle. This is such a versatile robot that can do both samples and specimen. The small chassis is very well balanced and provides the maximum reach into the submersible. This robot starts off strong with a specimen auto that can also deliver a sample, but it also finishes endgame with a fast L3 climb. Unfortunately, they didn't make the World Championships this year, but hopefully they feature in the MTI competition, where I'm sure they'll be very competitive.
Yeah. Anthony, what do you think about Rotu-D2?
Yeah, so Rotu-D2, they're one of my top Romanian teams. I love them. I've been following them for years. They're truly an amazing team. Rotu-D2 is going to the Michiana Premier event. The reason I know that is because our sister team, Leviathan Robotics, is also going, and we saw them on the list. And so I believe that's a few weeks before the Maryland Tech Invitational. And so I'm assuming if they get into that, they're going to do both. But it is very unfortunate they're not going to be at Worlds just because they're such a strong and competitive team. But that's just going to make Michiana and hopefully MTI that much more competitive. And I'm going to be curious to see how much they try and improve if they do that for Worlds or for MTI and the competitions.
All right. Rahul, who is our number 2 team?
Well, we certainly didn't forget about number 2, and we've got none other than Team 21336, I Forgot, from Washington. It's been over 2 months since they competed, and they still hold the number 1 ranked OPR in the world of 233.67, which I think might be one of the longest time ever held at the number 1 OPR. Their pivoting slide robot is one of the best specimen robots in the world with a consistent 6 specimen autonomous from over 2 months ago. With a robot that performed crazy well at the Washington Championship and finishing as the winning alliance captain, they've revealed that they're creating a V2 robot with some crazy upgrades to their already amazing system, such as a turret-based claw intake. In the Jemison division, they have the potential to be the best specimen robot in all of the Jemison division and be a part of the winning alliance for sure. I can't wait to see when they publicly reveal that version 2 of their robot, as well as how they're going to do at Houston coming up very soon.
Yeah, and definitely I Forgot talked about it a ton right after Washington State's last month as well. What do you guys see them bringing to Worlds as far as a sample autonomous goes? 7 samples, 8 samples, less, more? William, what are your thoughts?
I reckon that they'll probably go for maybe a close to an 8 sample, because sometimes if you're going to go for that 9th or even 10th sample, sometimes consistency could affect you. So a reliable 8 sample, I would assume, would be better than an inconsistent 9. So just depending on how fast their robot is and how consistent they've built it. But I'm going to go on the low side and say 8 samples.
Yeah. Anthony, anything you want to add? How do you see them faring in defense or things like that at Worlds?
Yeah, so I had not heard that they were doing a robot rebuild. That's scary. It'll be fine. I'm excited to play with them. I hope they have this robot with them because it's really cool to see. Like you said, they've been number 1 OPR for months now, and it's really cool to see this robot. I think if they can grab and score and not have to do it in this bursts of scoring, they can stack up and they can be very competitive and not be as susceptible to defense, because especially as it goes on, or if you don't have as many competitive teams, you can have them play defense and prevent that burst of scores just scoring the specimen. And so I think they can be missed in that, and if they can do both and grab and score at the same time, they'll be plenty fine.
Yeah. All right. Taking home our final Into the Deep top 25 is Team 15167 Robotroopers from Herndon, Virginia. They were the Chesapeake Winning Alliance captain with a 402 non-penalty OPR in early March, and are coming as the second highest non-penalty OPR in the team in this in the world into Houston. They have a very similar design to I Forgot and a couple other teams we've seen, which I find very interesting. I think it's not super commonplace that like this unique of a design is so highly ranked in our top 25 and by OPR in general. So that's very interesting to me because these teams seem to do super well in qualifications, but they don't have the world records, right? Like it's different teams that have the world records, and I'm sure they will be putting up very respectable scores. I think their large size is going to be super advantageous in matches, and I'm very interested to see if they've upgraded to a level 3 hand. But as far as teleop goes, they've got it covered. They're already putting samples into the low basket. They're going to be completely fine on that front in Houston. I could see them taking the whole world championship home with Alphatronic or TechnoZ. That would just be absolutely insane to me. Rahul, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Robo Troopers, their intake is really unique, and I think they're honestly probably, in my opinion, the best sample team in Teleup, at least at the World Championship. They have these really fast 4.5 second cycles in Teleup, and they're just going to be one of the strongest sample teams at Worlds. And with a really good specimen partner like TechnoZ or Proxima Nova or one of those teams, they could definitely take home the whole championship.
Yeah, William, anything you want to add?
I reckon, because you know how there's the extra 5 different colored samples, I reckon what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to try and favor the neutral samples first, so they can try and take as many of those away from the opposing alliance. So then later, because their cycles are just so fast, they can be able to go back for those extra blue ones or red ones. So it'll be interesting to see what type of strategy comes along with the speed that the speed of the cycles that they have.
Yeah, Anthony, anything we missed out on?
I mean, yeah, their cycle times are amazing. Like they had the top basket so full and they're just so fast. When they hit that low basket a second ago, they knocked one out and onto the floor. It's just they're going to be a really competitive team, and I'm going to be curious to see, if who they get paired up with, if they get paired up with TechnoZ, and how far they can make it.
Yeah, I'll be doing a behind the bot with them very soon, so I'm really excited to jump into their intake, just everything about the robot in general. But yeah, I think this has been a great top 25, great set of teams, and that's going to wrap up our final FTC top 25 of Into the Deep. If your team is going to be at Worlds, we will stop by to drop off your custom FTC top 25 sticker. If you're not attending, please fill out a contact form at funroboticsnetwork.com, and we will ship this out to you worldwide. Before we end for the night, Tyler, let's draw for our last giveaway.
Yeah, thanks, Abbas. That is for the slide reel set. If you do win, please go to funroboticsnetwork.com and click the giveaway winner form so we can get that out to you. Winner of that is going to be Mash Vintage. Congratulations, Mash Vintage. Please go to funroboticsnetwork.com and click that giveaway winner form. And like Abbas said, if you are not attending Worlds, there is a contact form. Fill that out, and we will make sure we do ship out your sticker so you do get that. We want to make sure we're on top of that this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Rahul, head us out.
Thank you for all the subscriptions we've received today, and don't forget that you help support the channel through YouTube for ad-free and early access videos. We hope you enjoyed this episode of FTC Top 25. If you want to stay connected with what Fun FTC is doing, follow us on Instagram, Facebook under @FunFTC, watch other Fun FTC content at Fun Robotics Network on YouTube, and join in on our Discord through the link in the chat.
On behalf of myself, Anthony, William, Rahul, and our producer Tyler working behind the scenes, I would like to thank you all for tuning in. I think Into the Deep has been a fantastic season. We've had some great shows and interviews. If you're going to Worlds, we look forward to seeing you there. I'll be doing interviews, enjoying the competition, and I hope you guys all do the same. So safe travels to everyone, and see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
True competitors know that every second counts. That's why Kettering University challenges you to dive in right away as a first-year student. Participating in robotics programs helps Kettering students secure a valuable co-op. Whatever your interests, Kettering gives you more space to work faster and win faster. Learn more at kettering.edu/first. Studica Robotics is everything your team needs to build, learn, and compete. Check out their FTC starter kit, intake hub kit, and odometry wheel options at studica.com/robots. Teams in the USA can get up to 25% off and apply for grants at studica.com/robots.